Keith Porter was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent in LA on New Year's Eve, and nobody is talking about it. Welcoming in the new year at 12 a.m., Keith Porter decided to shoot his firearm in the air with no pedestrians around, and then an off-duty ICE agent heard the gunshot from his apartment, decided to grab his immigration-distributed firearm to go out and check the scene. He found Keith Porter there and shot him, resulting in Keith Porter's death. While it is a felony charge to shoot a firearm in the air in California, it is not bringing direct harm to anybody. He was not an active threat, and even many of his family and friends have come forward and described Keith as a very wonderful, positive person, including a father to young girls. However, many people, including Trump and his administration, are calling this ICE agent a hero and referring to Keith Porter as an active shooter, when this was clearly a celebratory action. Nobody deserves to be murdered for shooting a firearm into the open air around no civilians with no intent to kill. The police should have been called and should have handled this. This is not an excuse for murder, and certainly not by an off-duty ICE agent using their federally distributed firearm.
The suppression of Keith Porter's story is so disheartening. It took just about a week for us to find out that he was killed by that off-duty ICE agent. And Keith shot some fires in the air to celebrate the new year. And you know, they're going to use that. They're going to use that against Keith and say, well, if he just had not been firing shots into the air, then that agent would have no reason to come out and investigate on his own, off duty. Then they're going to try to use the fact that when the officer approached Keith, he pointed the gun towards the agent and allegedly shot off on it, and allegedly shot a fire at the agent. That is what the articles are saying. And so it'll be self-defense. But that agent went out there messing around when he could have just stayed his ass in the house. We've seen it way too many fucking times. It's this superiority and heroic thing about this whole situation. I fear that's another angle that will be brought to us. Like, he was just trying to go out there and see what happened and be the fucking super saver guy. Same story, different fucking year, y'all. Rest in peace to Keith. Love and healing to his loved ones.
My son, Keith Porter, he did not deserve this. Keith Porter was a wonderful soul. His heart was big. He had a big heart. He loved so hard. He loved so deep. Anyone who came in contact with Keith loved him. He was a joy. He was a jokester. He was my baby. He was a father, a cousin, an uncle. And he always said, family over everything. It meant the most to him. My baby called me every morning to say, good morning, Mom, I love you. Every day before he went to work, just to say, Mom, I love you. How's your day? He loved his daughter. He loved me so much. I miss my child. He does not deserve this. His Home Depot family, I'm so grateful to them. He loved unconditionally. He never argued. He wasn't a gossip. He was the one that brought people together with love and unity. He was the type of person that there was no anger. He always brought joy into the room. He commanded the room, and he made you feel special. Everybody had a name, and it was from love, joy. He loved to cook. He'd come to your house. He would just ram your refrigerator and just cook a meal. And he just wanted happiness. He wanted everybody to just be filled with joy. He would say, I don't care, Mom, if I have $1 in my pocket, you would never know it because I'm a millionaire. Because I'm going to walk just like that. I'm going to let everybody know I am that person. I'm going to put my clothes on and I'm just going to love. I'm spiritual. I love God and I love everybody. And there's a lot of people out there that love me and I know it. So I just want you to know, please, justice for my baby. He does not deserve this, please. This person hurt my child and he would never hurt anybody he loved so hard. He rescued animals. He worked with disabled children. He helped raise kids in foster families. He was such a joy. His heart was so big. His heart was so big. He didn't deserve this. He was on his way back to say, Mommy, I love you. Happy New Year. He didn't even get to pop his champagne. He didn't get to say goodbye. I just want to touch my baby one last time, kiss his face and hold him. I don't have him. His life was snatched from us, Lord. Please, I just wish you could get justice for my child. Oh, please get justice for my baby.
Say his name!
Keith Porter!
Say his name!
Keith Porter!
Say his name!
Keith Porter!
Hi guys, my name is Mercy and you're welcome back to the channel. They want the name forgotten, but today we are saying it clearly. Justice for Kate Porter. Another life is taken, another family shattered. And once again, the system is telling us to move on without answers. This is the same system that claimed to protect lives while funding militarized enforcement. The same system that tells marginalized communities to trust it while refusing transparency when trust is broken. And when people demand justice, they told us to be silent. They told us to be patient, to wait, to calm down. But justice delayed is justice denied. So guys, let's see how people are reacting to these videos. We will come back to talk about it. And if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to like, share.
I find it to be quite peculiar how the story of Keith Porter has not been told, how no one has been speaking up about this man's death. He was killed by ICE as well, 7 days before Renee Good. He was killed December 31st in Los Angeles, Northridge to be exact. Now, it was by an off-duty officer, right, you guys? This man was a father of two, 43, melanated, quote-unquote, black man, right? Now, I don't understand how they don't want us to have the amount of rage. Man, there's no words that I can honestly come up with right now because all of this footage of that's happening with Renee Good is the only thing they're reporting about. And don't get it twisted. I've taken a break from social media for a minute, and every time I get back on, it's just something else that's crazy that's going on. The situation with Renee Good in Minneapolis, right? You watch the footage, we know for a fact that she was murdered for no reason. You get what I'm saying? That was not okay. They executed that woman. She didn't run anyone over. No one else's life was in danger but hers. Now her child is possibly finna get taken away from the other mom because she was a lesbian. Right? She was a lesbian. And we don't know the full amount of deaths that come from the hands of DHS and CBP. I mean, from ICE and CBP. We don't know in the last 12 months. We don't. The fact that no one is fucking discussing what happened to Keith Porter on New Year's Eve, you guys, this is fucked up. There's no interview. There's no name. There's no charges. All we know is that it was an off-duty ICE agent who claimed that Keith Porter was aiming his gun at him. Although the family is saying that that's a fact, that's not true. That's not a fact, right? That's a false accusation. What the family is saying. We know this already. We know. And to say the least, every year that there's a new year, it's a tradition. They shoot their guns in the air. They shoot their guns in the air. This is normal. And I've also heard that this was Keith Porter's neighbor who did this to him. So this happening, this guy could have possibly already been planning to do so. He didn't wait for the police to come there. He didn't call the police and wait for them to get there. He thought it was okay for him to handle this on his own. And my message to many is that we're going to have to handle everything on our own at this point, because this is some fucked up shit that's happening right now, y'all. And January just got here. And every time there's a big shift in the economy, a big shift in everything, new laws, etc., that things that's going to fuck us over, there are always going to be some crazy shit politically done to people. People's lives are going to be taken away, you know, to distract the masses. People's lives are going to be sacrificed. I'm seeing white women get on these pages talking about how fearful they are right now, how scared they are right now. These are feelings that my people have been feeling for a very long fucking time. Very long time. Woman in the military talking about, basically discussing how ICE is supposed to be targeting different people, but that was a white woman, someone that she could relate to. And I'm not saying that this is what her point of view was at, but that's what it kind of sort of sounded like a little bit. But this is fucked up. Keith Porter's name needs to get put out there just as much as Renee Good's, and just as much as anyone else who has been harmed. And this is not the first death that ICE has done, because it's happened in Chicago already. They've already been rioting in a little village for a while now. You feel me? So this is some fucked up shit. This is really messed up, man. I haven't heard any footage about this man, Keith Porter. Justice has to be served for them both, Renee Good and Keith Porter both.
Last week, a man named Keith Porter was killed by an off-duty ICE agent, but you probably haven't heard his name. And while part of that may be because of the ICE agent being off-duty rather than on-duty with a large crowd, we also know the biggest reason why this exists. Keith Porter is a black man, and black men, black women that get killed by agents, officers, don't get the same amount of national attention. Many people online have been very angry at me and other black people for saying not to use the phrase "say her name" when it comes to Renee Good, and this is part of the reason. It has taken 7 days for the average person, and not even the average person, but for people online to find out about Keith Porter, while most people across the country know who Renee Good is within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, people have started marching for her. They have been sharing the stories of her families. They have been talking about her, sharing posts of her, memorializing her, making sure that she is known. Meanwhile, Keith Porter's family, they've been struggling to get into the news cycle. They've been struggling to have any conversation. And the same defense that ICE agents are using to justify killing Good is the same defense that they're using for justifying killing Porter. They say that he had a weapon and that he pointed it at them first, despite the fact that nobody on the scene concurred that, aside from the officer who shot him. These are the conversations that we need to be having. It's not divisive to ask you to use language that matters. It's not offensive to ask you to consider how you're speaking about an issue, because part of the reason why fascism is happening now in the United States is because certain groups of people have never had to care this much. We've been under attack as black folks for a very long time. Indigenous folks understand. Many Latinos understand. There are many groups that understand that we have been under attack for a long time. But there are many folks that have just woken up, even in the last week, that are screaming, saying that we're being divisive. But what's more divisive? Refusing to acknowledge the work of someone that came before you, of people that have been here, people that have consistently voted in favor of not having things like this happen, or people who just showed up to the fight? Who is in charge of the language? Ask yourself that, and before you get angrier at somebody for asking you not to use a phrase than you do for the fact that that phrase has to exist in the first place, take a seat and breathe, because your privilege is showing.
Welcome back, my people. Justice for Keith Porter is not just about one case. It's about a system that keeps repeating itself. No more silence, no more cover-ups, no more excuses. Say his name loud, demand the truth, and don't let them rewrite his history. They want his name to disappear, but we will never let that happen. Stay critical, stay safe. See you guys in the next one. Bye.